Hey there, everybody. My name is Christina Westsinger, and I am a senior director in Columbia, South Carolina. And I was asked by Jana to bring a little training to y'all. I know that y'all are getting some amazing training this weekend. You have some amazing leaders there leading some fabulous topics. Jana shared with me some of the topics that y'all are working on this weekend. And frankly, I'm a little jealous I'm not there with y'all. I really am. But I know that y'all are having an amazing weekend. And so I wanted to bring a little something to you today about consistency, but about really one of my favorite topics that was shared to me at a retreat, just like you are attending right now. So, one of our former field development managers, Julie Aldridge, she shared with me a training that it was back in 2014, and here it is to 2020, and it is still very relevant, and it still means a lot to me, and it resonated so much with me that anytime I ever spoke with her, or anytime she ever trained my team or my organization or anything like that, or was at a retreat and asked me, what do you want me to train on? My first response was always, Julie, please do the bucket analogy. To me, that is so powerful. But before I get to the bucket analogy with y'all, I want to talk to you a little bit about filling your buckets and what that means, what it looks like, and what consistency really means when it comes to filling your bucket. So let me ask you this though. Why should your business be a priority? I'm going to let you think about that for a second. Why should your business, and notice I reiterate your business, why should it be a priority? Is it a priority to you today? I'm guessing that because you're at this retreat, that you're wanting to make it a priority if it's not already, or you're kind of wondering, should I make my business a priority now? Is now the time to do this? Maybe it is. Maybe you've heard some stuff already that you're like, dang, I think this is really going to make the difference for me and my family and in my business. So, but does this mean that we spend 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on our business? No, y'all. It does not mean that at all. What it means is setting aside specific times of day to work your business for the purpose of building up your bookings and building your teams. And notice I said and in there, your bookings and your team. They should both be a priority. Consistency is key. Have you ever heard that before? I think we all have, right? But what does consistency mean to you? Does it mean doing something the same way all the time? Does it mean that you always host coach a certain way? Does it mean that you always offer the business opportunity? Or does it mean you do host coaching or offering the business opportunity when you remember? So let's just say you are wanting to do cooking shows, for example, okay? So if you do one cooking show a month, then let's say it's another 4 weeks before you do another one. Do you think you'll be on top of your game? Do you think that you will be rip roaring ready to go for the next one? Do you think you'll remember some of the things that you need to do? Do you think you'll have good show habits if you're doing one cooking show a month? No, not really. So let's say you're doing virtual parties, okay? If you do one virtual party a month, are you having consistent sales coming in? Mm-mm. Are you having lots of good practice at doing virtuals and practicing what is working well and learning what is working well in your virtual parties? Probably not if you're only doing one. This is why filling our buckets and having consistency in our business is key. So, what does filling our buckets really look like anyway? Well, for the sake of this example, I have my daughter's Halloween bucket. So here's what I want you to imagine for a moment. I want you to imagine, and there's candy wrappers in here. How fun. All right. I want you to imagine that this is your business. All right. And we're going to talk about it in a couple of different ways. So let's just say that this is your team, for example. All right. So if you have not started growing a team yet or building a team, this is really going to be imperative that you listen to this so that when you do start building your team and growing your team, that you will hopefully remember this the way that I did. Now, if you already have a team, this is probably going to open your eyes a little bit as to why some of the things are going on in your team and why maybe growth has slowed or started going in reverse. Maybe you've experienced some of that. And yes, I do have mismatched walls here. My husband is painting my office, y'all. Sorry about that. Hope that's not too distracting. I do try to do this in my videos sometimes so that people won't see it, but there we go. If I just stay just like this, right? Sorry. All right, y'all. So let's just say this is your team. All right. So you've started your Pampered Chef business and you got so excited about it and you started sharing with others and you started adding team members to your team. And these team members are so fun. And oh my gosh, they're selling. Look at this. Your team members are selling and they're doing things. They're booking shows. And all of a sudden, oh, there goes team member number 4. And you're like, oh, I'm getting close to director. What is going on here? You've added a few more. And now all of a sudden in this one particular month, oh, look, you're green. You have promoted to director and you are so happy and you love your team so much. And you're like, I am so proud of myself and I am so proud of my team. We are good. Look at us. We have promoted to director. And look, month 1 went by and look at us. We are still doing good. And month 2, and we're like, oh, I don't know what's going on here, but some of these little consultants, they're not doing as much as they did in the first month. But I'm okay. I'm okay. We still have another month, right? Okay. So let's just say month 3 comes. All of a sudden, you're like, what is going on? My people aren't returning my phone calls. My team looks pitiful. They're not answering text messages anymore. They're not active. What am I going to do? I don't have the show scheduled to sell 5,000 in a month. What is going on here? I don't understand. My team was so great and I love them so much. What do you notice my hands are doing? They're grabbing this bucket. They're holding on to it for dear life, trying to protect the team. And you're like, oh no, you're leaving too. No, you can't leave me. No, please don't leave me. Please, please don't fall out from underneath me. I can't handle that, right? Does this sound familiar? You're begging people not to leave, begging people to sell. And you're like, I don't understand what's going on. What did this arm stop doing? This arm right here stopped filling the bucket with new team members when you promoted to director because you were so happy. You're like, oh, I got my team. I got my team. I have arrived. Does that resonate with any of you? I have arrived. I have reached the destination. Y'all, let me just side note say, directorship is not a final destination at all. It is merely a pit stop along the interstate, y'all, to stop for a second, take a breath, go, oh, okay, back on, here we go, here we go, here we go. And you keep riding and you keep going and pushing forward. Just remember that. So the reason why your team is falling apart is because you got a big hole in the bottom of your bucket because you have not continued to do this. You have not continued to add team members to your bucket. And I will tell you, the team members that get you to directorship are not the ones to keep you there. I know you love them all, and you're so excited that they've all joined you. Some of them are probably good friends of yours. Some of them could be family members, but they're not all in it forever, and it's okay. All right, so let's look at it at a different way now. So we're going to let all of them little skinny consultants fall away, right? Have you ever heard the term that says if you want to change your team, change your team? That means you got to keep doing this. You got to keep reaching and grabbing for new team members constantly and adding them to your bucket. So let's just say you did that. Let's say you didn't do like this and oh my gosh, okay? Let's say you promoted to director, and let's say you kept doing this right here. And let's say you got you some plump ones in there. them big old juicy consultants that are good and they are selling and they are adding new team members themselves. And you know what? Them little old scrawny, skinny ones that don't ever eat nothing but rabbit food fell out. And that's okay. That is okay. Bye. We'll see y'all later. You can still host a party with me. That's fine. Because you know what has happened? The big, fat, juicy ones that are working have plugged up the hole in your bucket. And before long, your bucket starts filling up to overflowing. And now your business, your team is overflowing with strong team members, worker bees, people who are consistent, who want more out of their businesses. Okay? So constantly adding to your bucket is so important, especially when you're trying to build a team. Now, if you're not trying to build a team, I highly encourage you to keep adding people to your bucket anyway. We never know who in the name of goodness out there needs Pampered Chef, because it's not about us anyway, is it, y'all? It's not. Now, what does this look like, this whole bucket thing, when it comes to our show schedule, our bookings, and our host, right? Think about it again for a second. If you are filling up your calendar, you're adding virtual parties, you are adding cooking show hosts, and you're like, yay, look at my calendar. It's so good. It's so good. Looks so good. My goal this month is 8 parties in a month. And oh, look, I got 8. I'm so excited. Look at this. My calendar is full. This is exactly what my goal was. I'm full. I'm full. What? Whoa. Wait a minute. 2 just fell out. 2. You just lost 2 because of the law of cancellations. So now your bucket's not so full anymore, is it? Because what did you stop doing? You stopped adding to your calendar. This doesn't mean overload yourself to where you're crazy. This means making sure that you have enough overage to account for the fact that you're going to lose a couple of parties, or a couple of them are going to flop, or Frances is going to end up with the darn flu and have to cancel her party the day before. But then you know what? If you're consistently doing this with more shows and more hosts that you can keep filling in, it's all going to be okay. And you're still going to meet your goals. You're still going to have the month that you want. So you see how consistently working this arm to fill that bucket is going to be phenomenal, and exactly what you need to do. Because when you start doing this with your host, right, and your calendar starts getting full, and your bucket starts to overflow, it will overflow to the next month and the next month. How many of you would love to be consistently booked full? That's the way to do it. You never stop adding shows. You never stop adding team members. So let me ask you this. I want you to think about this for a second. When talking about consistency and thinking about a consistent business, how does a hairdresser get business? Think about that. And I know we've got a hairdresser or 2 in the room. How does a dentist fill their calendars? A dentist does not come to work and sit there and go, man, I sure hope somebody walks in today for a cleaning or a root canal. That'd be nice. Maybe then I could keep my lights on. Man, that'd be great. A hairdresser, they get walk-ins periodically, but can they run a steady business and earn a steady paycheck by hoping and praying that someone walks through the door for a random cut and color? No. What would happen to a dentist or the hairdresser if they operated their businesses that way? They'd be out of business quick, wouldn't they? Like really quick. They'd have to shut the doors before they even really unlocked them for the day. So before you ever get out of the chair at the dentist office, aren't they already saying, now we want to see you back in 6 months. So go ahead and make your appointment at the front desk before you walk out, right? And when I'm getting my hair done at my hairdresser, I'm literally sitting in her chair. She's taking the thing off, the little apron thing, and she is literally saying to me, so do you want to come back in 6 weeks or 8 weeks? I kid you not. Before I leave the dentist, before I leave my hairdresser's office, I'm making another appointment. Because how in the name of goodness is it going to feel when you don't do that and you call up and you're like, oh my gosh, I just realized my hair looks a hot mess. I got roots everywhere, I got gray everywhere. And my hairdresser is booked up for 3 weeks and I got to go to a wedding. There's no way I'm going to be. Then you go to some random stylist and it's the end of the road for you for your pretty hair for the wedding, right? So same goes with the dentist. You've got a aching tooth or something like that, and you can't get in for another week, and you have to deal with that pain for a week. No, you always make an appointment. That's how a dentist and a hairdresser consistently has business. They keep adding and adding and adding before you even get up out of the chair. So before you leave a party, before you leave a hostess at a virtual party, before you even close her out, make sure you have some bookings from those parties, right? So, how do you want to fill your buckets this spring? Are you looking to fill this thing to overflowing? I sure hope so. Here's what I want you to do really quickly. I would love for you to take a piece of paper. I'm sure all of you have paper in front of you. And I want you to write up at the top of the paper, March. And then over here, I want you to write April. Okay? Then beside each month, so beside March and beside April, I want you to write 2 different numbers. Okay? The first number you're going to write is how many current dated bookings you have on your calendar for March and how many current dated bookings you have on your calendar for April. All right. This is not, well, Susie Joe told me she would do one in April, but I don't have her set yet, but I'm going to count her. This is how many you have written down with a date. Okay. Your virtuals, your cooking, everything. How many do you have current and dated on March and how many you have current dated for April? All right. Write those 2 numbers. Then I want you to write a little slash mark, diagonal line, whatever you want to call the thing. Write a slash. And then that next number that you're going to write is how many do you want for March? How many do you want for April? Not many, how many you think you can book, but how many do you want to fill your bucket with for March? And how many do you want to fill your bucket with for April? Okay. Now, how many of you would love to have the numbers match? How many you want versus how many you actually have? You would love to have those match. If you have 2 and you want 10, you better get the booking, right? Right. So your leaders, Jana, Kim, Vicki, Trina, Marcy, Kayla, Kelly, Brent, and Sue. Y'all, they are there to help you. I know they are giving you amazing training this weekend, and I know y'all are going to have an amazing time and learn so much that your heads are going to be just overflowing, and you're going to have all of these wonderful ideas. I would love to encourage you to highlight the things that you really want to implement. Think about those things, pray on those things, and be rip-roaring ready to go for March and attack March like nobody's business. Because you know who deserves that? You do. You deserve to have the business that you want. Your family deserves for you to have the business you want. Because when you have the business you want, y'all, you are filled to overflowing with joy. You are filled to overflowing with awesome business that you can then pour out to the month and month and month ahead. And you can fill yourself to overflowing and pour yourself out to your team. Because if you're constantly empty in your bucket and constantly empty in your business, how are you ever going to be able to help anybody else, right? So I challenge you to do that today. Fill your bucket to overflowing. Fill your bucket with amazing team members, amazing hosts, and have fun doing it. All right. I wish you all the best. And thank you so much for allowing me to come and share with y'all today, share my heart and share one of my most favorite trainings with you. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Have a great retreat. Everybody be safe going back to your homes. And I hope to see each and every one of you at Empower or at National Conference. Come up and make sure you say hello to me so I know that you actually were at this training this weekend. All right. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody, and I will see y'all all very soon. Bye, y'all.